This is the inside of the Adria Action 361 LT. If I firstly move to the entrance door, we will find just up here the master switch. So by flicking this, I can turn the 12-volt system on. Above it we have the voltage displayed of the leisure battery. Beside the master switch we then have the switch for the water pump. The water pump needs to be on so we can get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. Underneath here we have the main isolator for all of the lights. So if you're going out, you can leave the 12-volt on and just flick all the lights off here without having to go around and individually turn them all on and off. We have the two gas burners just here. They do not have electronic ignition, so you will need one of these little handy devices, and then it's just literally a matter of pushing in, twisting, holding in, and then igniting. We then have the oven and the grill just here. Push in, twist to the left for the oven, and this does have electronic ignition. And then if we go back to off and push in and go to the right, we can then fire up the grill. Beneath the oven we have storage, but also underneath here are two of the gas isolation taps, one being for the hob just here, the one at the top for the oven, and the one at the bottom for the heating. They are all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you do smell gas in the caravan, to go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. We have the fire just here. If we are going to use the fire on gas, all we need to do is just come across and turn. You will then be able to hear the igniter ticking. Then just hold down. And once you can no longer hear the ticking, it's a good indication that the fire has lit. Then let go. You can also peer for the pilot light just there. Control the temperature just by turning the knob just here, and then once you go back to 0, it will then put itself back out again. For the fire on electric, we just need to come up here, and you'll see that we have off just here, 2000, 500 and 1000 just here, and this is power settings. So if we flick to the top, we're now running the fire on mains electricity using 2 kilowatts. If I now return back to off and drop down, we're now running the fire on 500 watts, and if I flick down again, we're now running the fire on 1 kilowatt. So we can just pick on here, very handy if you're on a low amp site to try and avoid tripping. We control the temperature on the inner dial just here. And then regardless whether we're using the fire on mains electricity or on gas, this side here just controls the circulation fan, which will then blow the air out of the air ducts that are located around the caravan. So we have a top dial which is just fan speed, and then to turn the fan on, just flick it to M for manual. This one just here is very handy if it's a warm day and you just want to circulate the air without any heat. The fan will run much faster. A will not work in this model of caravan. It stands for automatic and you do have to have an additional thermostat fitted. We have the Dometic fridge just up here. So to turn the unit on, just press this button here. And we're currently running the fridge on mains electricity with a little picture of the 2-pin plug. To run the fridge on gas, just press the little picture of the flame just here, and it will then automatically attempt to fire itself up. If it fails to light, you will get a red flashing light just here indicating that it's failed, and you can press this button just here to reset it and it will then try again. It does tell you about it just here and then within the manual itself. And then lastly, we have 12 volt maintained for when we're towing it. So at the moment, if I select this, it's going to beep at us and give us an error symbol because we're currently not hitched up to a tow vehicle with the engine running. Temperature control just here. And then just push down here to open. And then we have the freezer box just here, and it can be removed if required. There's a clip there and a clip there. Tucked down here are the controls for the boiler. So if we're hooked up to mains electricity and we want to heat our water, you'll see this one here that says boiler EL for electric. Rocker switch, so in the middle it's off. If I now flick it up, it will heat the hot water to roughly about 50 degrees, and if I flick it down, it will heat it roughly to about 70 degrees. If we have no main supply, we can heat our water on gas, and that's what this one here is for. So again, if I now flick it up, it will heat our hot water to about 50 degrees, and if I flick it down, it will heat our hot water to about 70 degrees. Do make sure that you've removed the flue cover from the outside of the caravan, or otherwise it will just fail to light. If it fails to light, a red light will appear. If we now come into the cupboard just here and we go right the way down to the bottom, we have the location of the mains trip switches. So very similar to what you will find in your house. So we have the individual MCBs on the left hand side, and then over here we then have the main RCD and the test button as well. So if anything's not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped. Also in here we have another gas isolation tap, and this one here is for the fridge. If I now come to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, you will now see as we lift up that we have some storage just here. We have the main 20 amp fuse just there that comes directly off the leisure battery that's just here. If I now just flap this section just down, we can see the battery charger just here. So this is what's charging the leisure battery when the caravan is hooked up to the mains supply. We then have the 12 volt fuses just here. So if anything's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse. The Truma boiler is just located here, and to drain it down for travel or winterization, it is all just done on this yellow lever just here. Before draining the boiler down, do make sure that the water pump is turned off, and then lift up the yellow lever and it will then drop all of the water out of the boiler. If you are fully winterizing the caravan, I always suggest that you also open up all of the taps in the caravan as well, because this will help in draining the system down. On these Adrias you will see that you also have a secondary lever just here, which will help drain out any of the water located in the pipework as well. When it comes to refilling the boiler back up again, flat back over both of the levers, close all of the taps, fill up the aqua roll, drop in the submersible pump, turn on the 12 volt and then flick the water pump. It will then begin to reprime the boiler back up again, let it begin to fill, and then after a few minutes begin opening your taps. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out, and then once they're running freely on both hot and cold, reclose up again, and then the boiler will be fully primed. You'll see just tucked down here is the pressure switch for the water pump. So if you are finding that the pump is massively overrunning, so you're getting a ticking sound for a long period of time, you can slightly adjust this. Never twist it violently, just tiny little movements. We then have another gas isolation tap just here for the boiler, and we also have the Power Touch motor mover control board just here. If I now move across to the other bench seat and again remove the cushions, if I now lift up again, we have the freestanding table just here. We then have the location of the spare wheel, and then we also have the corner steady winding handle just there, and the wheel brace. All of these can be got to from the outside. In the overhead locker we have the digital amplifier for the television aerial on the roof. You can control the boost just on the inner dial just here. As you can see, the television is all plugged in with the aerial lead connected. This will need to be retuned in every time you change location. So if I now just turn the power on, as you can see, the TV signal is slightly scrambled at the moment. So to retune in the television, come to the remote, find the digital TV menu button, just press it. It will then take you back to the main menu. Use the arrows just down here and then just arrow down to program search. Then just hit enter, which is in the center. We want automatic search and we want to reperform. If I now hit OK and OK again, and it will then begin retuning itself back in. This Adria Caravan also has the Adria media controller just here for streaming either radio stations through a device or saved music. The on-off switch is just here. Control the volume just here. All you now need to do is literally go into your Bluetooth menu and search for new devices, and this will come up as Adria. Connect up to it and then you'll be able to play your music or stream music wirelessly. If I now move across and we come to the washroom, you'll see that we have the light switch just here for the washroom. So we have the shower just here. We then have the drop down basin. And then the toilet beneath. To open to the cassette, just slide the lever across and then push to flush just here. Then close back up again. Level indicator just here, so it will illuminate when the cassette needs emptying. If you do leave this open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. And then we have storage behind the mirror. In this model of caravan we can either have two single beds, so they can literally virtually stay as they are at the moment. May just need to remove the back rest on this particular model. You can also have the bed in a slightly sit-up position. Or alternatively, you can have a double, and all we need to do is just pull the slats out and then drop the cushions into position. And then, as you can see, you have a very large double bed. Smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarm. Just press the buttons and check them every now and then just to make sure that they are operating, as they both require batteries.